Log out here. All right. No, that's okay. She didn't send it. All right, we're waiting for the order. Okay. All right. All right, we're going to call this meeting to order of the Legislative Committee at 5:30 p.m. on Monday, August the 11th. Commissioner Jones, would you mind praying?
Sure. Dear Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you for this time we have to come before you, Lord, and ask you just to bless us with knowledge, Lord. Help us know how to make decisions on these items for the county, Lord. Help us keep your blessing on this county and return your blessing to this county, Lord. Help us all make wise choices, and we ask all these things in your name. Also, Lord, for those that are ill, we ask that you just be with them. Commissioner Moss, especially, Lord, who's asked that you be with him right now, Lord, and visit. And Jennifer, Lord, you know the needs, Lord, and you are the great physician. So we ask these things also, Lord. Amen.
Amen. All right. Do I have a motion for the approval?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Shope, second by Commissioner Jones. All fair say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. Approval of the minutes from July. So moved. Motion by Commissioner Teachner. Second by Commissioner Jones. All fair say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Recognition of the public. All right, you guys know the drill. When I call your name, come up. You got 5 minutes. Mr. Mike McLard.
Mike McLard, 102 Tioga Trail, Hendersonville, Tennessee. Under the resolution of term limits, I think it's a great thing. I think 80% of the country when polled is in favor of term limits. I know I said it the last time we talked, but several years ago when Dr. Chris ran for Senate, he said, if I'm elected, I'll run one more time. If elected, that's when I'm going to stop. He served 2 terms and retired. Totally admire that. I've said for years, I don't know if we're going to save this country with term limits, and we need them at all levels, not just certain, all of them. The resolution about allowing public to comment, of course, I'm a big talker, so I'm always willing to comment. Not always makes sense, but at least I try to, and I really think that resolution should pass as well. State law, excluding county employees from being elected. You can get an argument for anything on either side of that. I personally think, though, that if you are voting on basis of your own livelihood, it's wrong. You either needed to abstain or just not run. I'm totally in favor of that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. McLard. Mr. Kevin Baker.
Kevin Baker, 14 A.B. Wade Road. I also support the term limit proposal and the public comments proposal, but I'd like to talk a little bit more about the other, what we're going to be discussing tonight about employees being able to serve on the legislative body. And some of you already know this history, so it's going to be, might be redundant, but at any other level of government, you cannot be on the legislative body and be an employee of that constituency. At the federal level, you can't do it. You can't be an employee of the federal government and serve in the Congress. At the state level, you can't do it, even at local level. But Tennessee has a big old gap. Now, back in 2015, Courtney Rogers tried to fix that. And there's been several pieces of legislation that have been tried to move through the state legislature and have been killed over the years, most notably by a gentleman named Tim Wergow, who was the chairman of the local government committee. Well, as a point of record, a certain individual named Bruce Griffey then ran against Mr. Wergow over in wherever Paris is, whatever county that is, and summarily beat the pants off an incumbent based on using that topic. People really don't like when they think that things aren't fair. Now, case in point, we had on this day in April 7, 2015, down at the local government committee I was talking about, we had 2 members of our local establishment the current superintendent of schools and an individual who worked for Hendersonville and now works, I believe, for the school board. They testified on behalf that you can't allow this to happen. You can't limit people from being there. Well, somebody else from Sumner County also happened to testify that day, and that was Laura Baker at the request of the committee. But my point is this: a lot of people in Tennessee really, it's all about fairness. When they see an employee being able to vote on their pay, and people would argue that you can't do it. Well, in 2019 we did, and we have the documented records of commissioners saying, "Oh, I've never gotten such a big increase in pay. Of course I'm going to vote for this budget that included a $4,000." So it's out there. This is real. It probably isn't going to go anywhere. I appreciate the effort that you're all putting in. Probably won't go anywhere, but people are listening. People are paying attention. And just like with term limits, oh, Mr. Griffey now is now a judge over in that neck of the woods. So who knows? Maybe a lawsuit will come up one of these days.
Thank you, Mr. Boozer. Mrs. Laura Baker.
Laura Baker, 44 A.B. Wade Road. I just want to commend all of you for having the guts to stand up here and put these three resolutions and voting for them. These are fantastic. Term limits, you know, obviously it's an optional thing, that self-limiting. Well, it's just great that people, you want to make people commit to that. As everybody's already said, that most people are really in favor of it. The allowing public comment, another thing, like you recognize that you're here to serve us and that you would generously offer to, and I'm all in favor of putting it at the end of the meeting, don't have to be at the beginning. And then also in favor of the, your discussion, if you're going to push through a resolution on that. As Kevin said, we've had problems with that. We have problems this month, or this past month, with people voting on their own pay, and that's just wrong. I do, as said, it's the fairness, the whole fairness thing. But I wanted to commend you. I want to say I'm in favor of all three of those, and I want to commend you and thank you for putting these resolutions on.
All right, that concludes public comments. Thank you. For the chairman, I have none. For the county mayor, none here. Surprise. Where's he at? I don't know. He's been here for a while. Old business item A, this three-star community grant application. I don't know if there's much for us to do on that. I guess I'd like to make a motion for discussion real quick. Second. All those out? Aye. Any opposed? I don't know if you guys saw the newspaper. I remember that when this came, we asked the mayor about this in this committee, because the main thing was about the convention center. And, I mean, he literally said he was not familiar with the inclusion of a convention center in this grant. And then I went back and watched the video, and later in the same video he said, well, he said that was just something a group was talking about and how they want a conference center in Sumner County to attract more people. So there's no way of obligating the county. There's no been talk of funding one or discussing funding one right now. And I think Commissioner Jones had asked, like, who the county leaders were. The answer that was given was there's been no committee formed to research this. I'm like, that wasn't the question that you really asked. But I bring this up because I'm very surprised to hear a couple weeks later reading the paper where the county mayor literally said in front of the chamber that the goal of this three-star grant program was the creation of a conference center. Literally several weeks after he said in this meeting that he didn't even know, one, that it was in there or part of that, or then he changed his tune and said, hey, it's just something that's kind of being discussed, to then admitting in a chamber thing. Sumner County is ready for a conference center. He said our county, or to convince them, a conference center. Our county could draw from all the conferences in Nashville. He went a step further, naming a specific location between Gallatin and Hendersonville with easy access from State Route 386. And this did not seem to be some kind of casual idea floated by some anonymous group called in Hendersonville. You know, researching and that at the same time it was brought up to Boma to put a conference center right there on Stop 30 at 36, and the citizens of Hendersonville like rejected that. They were like kicking and screaming over that one. And Boma, I think, unanimously rejected that plan. just a little confused on the contradiction here, or what I feel is false and misleading statements to this committee when we questioned about the 3-star application grant program, one being a goal of, or little I know was also for the Smith Travel Research thing with the Innovation Center. That was, I didn't know what that was. I asked what that was in June, and it was told like, it's a daycare kind of thing, or, just was misled there and asked questions. So I just personally don't appreciate being misled or not being truthful. And so, but I don't want to just state this on the record because this happened after our last meeting, and I read this in the paper. I was like, wait a minute, like, you said something totally opposite to me. Commissioner Jones.
I would like to also add that venture with Hendersonville, looking at it, was done through Forward Sumner. They're the ones planning the meeting with the citizens for people to come out and ask questions about it. So that's someone who is in charge from the former administration at this county level that was working with county leaders who weren't us and weren't commissioners that were trying to get this thing passed. Oddly enough, the perfect place to probably put something like that is right next door to Forward Sumner on Greenlee, which is easy access to bypass and no traffic, problems, not in the middle of a neighborhood, not in the middle of a rural section of the county, and none of that was considered.
I just, because I didn't read this, I have not read this paper article. So I am very familiar because it's in my district with the, I represent the county. I represent the city at the county level, so it wasn't my fight to be had, but I'm very familiar with the conference center fight at Boma. But are you saying that this 3-star grant is laying the foundation for that?
Yeah.
I don't see how that, because that is dead on arrival. It's dead.
Well, that was the stated goal of the 3-star grant. That's why we questioned it back in June. And the county mayor literally said at the end of July at a conference that the goal, literally, the third goal of the 3-star program is the creation of a conference center. Sumner County is ready for a conference center.
I'm going to just ask it next.
Yeah, well, I was hoping you'd be here tonight for legislative for us to ask him because, it's contradictory stuff. And so, he said between Gallatin and Hendersonville with easy access to State Route 36, well, that was where the Stop 30 is. That's the location that was being proposed concurrently with this. And then he pulled back the 3-star grant and said it's already been taken care of from the state and just asked us to remove it from the agenda, which the email's in this. So it's even more like, then why did it come to the commission to begin with if, you were able to bypass the commission altogether? So I just didn't appreciate being misled and saying, was not familiar with the inclusion of it, then to change the tune and say, oh, it's just something a group of leaders talked about, to, oh, okay, it's Fort Sumner.
If just to note here, I will, assuming I can get it added to the agenda in my committee, I'll just bring the question up and ask it flatly if the county mayor's here, if that's what it's for.
It's for convenience.
Yeah, it'd be good to get it on public.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you can get a truthful answer because I have literally watched the video documentation saying one thing and then saying the opposite thing, and then saying something else publicly. So, I don't know which version you'll get, but you have some choices for sure. So anyway, I don't think there's anything for us to do with this. I remember we kept this on all business, but I'm glad that obviously BOMA voted this down, whatever this is. I don't know if there's any action for us to take other than just dismissing this, removing from all business without objection. Any objection?
No objection.
So you are removing it? Yeah, we're going to remove it from all business. All right. Item B, Course and Master Services Agreement. I have a motion for approval or discussion. Make a motion for discussion. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Commissioner Teacher made a motion, and Commissioner Jones seconded it. All right. Well, this is kicked back to old business. I think this was added by the water director from the at the table at the last minute, and it wasn't on the published agenda. Mr. Water, if you want to speak anything to this, have anything to add to this?
I do not, other than we've gone through it, they've agreed to our changes, and this is the final version.
Is there any, I don't see anything in here about any cost or anything. Do we have any
This is just a master terms and conditions, because we keep running into stuff that they submit, and we keep having to go through each contract every time they do this. This master service agreement will keep us from having to do that every time somebody wants to go through course. And
So I'm just trying to ask this, so what it's doing is, so you have like, you're gonna have a master services agreement that will cover like a, kind of like a school bus, and then statements of work are the different slots on the school bus.
yes.
And so you want all of these things, you're just trying to not have to review.
Yes, or if something happens to get through, we are in agreement that there is a master contract that governs all the work.
That is pursuant to, that you will execute pursuant to, okay.
Yes.
Motion to approve.
All right, got a motion approved by Commissioner Show, to a second by Commissioner Teacher, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that gives us the full commission. All right, item A under new business, veteran service report presentation. Mr. Funky is not here, it doesn't look like, so,
Motion to approve item B.
Motion to approve B, C, and D.
well, so we have a motion to approve.
I want to make one change to C, just because I've done it, to be consistent.
All right, so we have a motion to approve item B. We have a second by Commissioner Jones. All
You
those-
haven't done A yet.
Do we have to make
It's
a,
not here.
is that just for,
It's just for-
docketing, or do we need to make?
No, it's just docketing.
Yeah, so I mean,
I'll
as
let y'all understand where they're with it.
yeah, item A is docketing, Commissioner Show, kind of.
It was just
quickly skip.
Yeah, I'm just moving.
Jump the number. We have a motion by Commissioner Schoaf and a second by Commissioner Jones for the, move the resolution return on this back to the full commission. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
I'd like to make a motion to approve, item C, subsequent, pursuant to a change that I'd like to make, an amendment to it. And the amendment is simply that these would be moved to that comments would be the same one I did last time, that they would be moved to the end of the meeting.
Second.
That's my motion.
So, I'm just getting, I'm against that, so I'm gonna, I guess,
I'm just seconding it, so we don't oppose.
I'm against that particularly, but I don't wanna, I'm not voting against this. I guess I'm gonna have to make an amendment.
So here, let's do this. If you want to just, I'll withdraw if you just want to make a motion to approve it.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
Okay.
All right, so Commissioner Schoaf withdrew. I make a motion to approve.
Yeah,
Commissioner Teacher makes a second. Now it's.
Now I will make a motion to amend
Your
it.
amendment is to amend this to move the public
To move
comments.
public comments to the end.
Non-agenda item.
Correct.
All right, do we have a second for that?
I'll second it, but I have one.
All right, Commissioner Teacher, second, open for discussion on the amendment.
So, the reason why that I've really been against it, I mean, I could be with it either way as long as the people get to speak. But the problem is that I've seen multiple commissioners leave our chambers without this even being in place. And what bothers me so much is if people are not getting heard even currently, if we go ahead and say, let's put it in, well, I could pretty much feel comfortable that the commissioners who are leaving already with the regular agenda items are leaving. They're not going to stay for the people to speak. Now, granted, they'll still be on video, but that's the part that bothers me, and that's why I wanted to discuss it. I'm not against, if that's the only thing that'll get it through, I want people to speak. I just don't, I would rather them be able to speak at the front, no matter how inconvenient it is to us, because of the simple fact that it just is what it is. And I think there's one statement I want to make that it's just the case. We stay till it's done. But I mean, I believe that people should get heard while the chambers are full, as opposed to the chambers being empty and along with several of the seats in the actual representative body being empty before they can speak. And that's my reason why I'm against it. But I'm still second. I'm the same way. I'll vote. I'm probably going to vote against this amendment here tonight, but I may vote for it if I read the room and see that that's the only way it's going to get passed in the commission meeting, because I do want citizens to be heard at a meeting. But I think they have better chance of getting traction on their issue if it's read at the beginning of the meeting, if they're heard at the beginning. So I'm going to hold out for that, but I may vote for this amendment if it gets done to the floor, and I see that they've got the majority on that, because I want it to pass.
So, likewise, if my amendment doesn't pass, which doesn't look like it will, I'll pass this on, but I'm gonna make the same amendment on the floor, and I wanna give my rationale for why. And we just went through this, right? We were at, some people might have noticed I was testy at the end of this last meeting, right? Here's the thing, we're humans, we are human beings, and we are fallible, we are not the Almighty. And so when you are in those cases where we have certain things we have to get done, right? We are obligated by law to get certain things done, and I recognize, I try to recognize my own limits. So yes, we can all say we can be out there till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, but the ability to operate at good sense rapidly diminishes over time, right? So you don't just want to get the people's business done, you want to get it done well. And you're going to do a lot better getting it done well at 9 o'clock than you are at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now look, to your point, we've had people come, we can make a meeting go till 1 o'clock in the morning, whether it happens all the time anyway, so this is probably a moot point. I am trying to, I have always voted to let people speak more than they could. I want this to happen, but I've got to balance that against recognizing that if somebody wanted to weaponize it, the same 30 people from the Right to Read group could come and do this and use this every single time in order to postpone things till midnight every single time. And I don't think that is giving the county the best service. So that's why I'm trying to balance the desire to have people be heard liberally. I know that I mean broadly, but with the practicality of trying to actually execute things smartly. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why we can make it here, but I'm not going to hold this up. I'll vote for it if my amendment doesn't pass, and I'll bring it up again on the floor.
This is not an amendment, but a suggestion that I believe could make all of us feel comfortable with either way. Because if this were to pass exactly as it is, people get to speak. If that were to ever be the case, I don't think it would, but I don't know everything either. So if it were to ever be the case, it could easily say recognition of the public on agenda items, recognition of the public on non-agenda items. And if that filled up so full, then it would be at the chairman's, desire or discretion to say, hey, without objection, or even take a vote on it, that we can move it to the end if there happened to be an overwhelming amount that still would get to speak. But that would be something that could be at the end. If it were something that seemed like it was that on purpose.
Or in the next time.
I mean, I don't think we need to make an amendment.
I think we just roll with this, and it's going to, like, I have my amendment, it's not going to pass, and then we'll pass up, and then what's going to happen on the floor is going to happen. So. I can guess what's going to happen. Well, look, we're trying.
Anyway, any more discussion on this item? All in favor, we're on the amendment, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? No. No. Aye. All right, back to the main motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously on the main motion. All right, that goes to the full commission. Again, second month in a row. Item D.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Teacher to approve. Number second. Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That way you won't have to worry about the
Motion to approve item E.
argue on this one.
Well, so we've already
voted for it. We're done.
Motion to approve item E.
Got a motion by Commissioner Schoaf. Do we have a second?
Hang on, I'm reading. Yeah, second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Opioid legislation, state resolution. This was asked by Dustin, sent this to us, asking us to pass this via the state. So,
This was just, I can.
motion for discussion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Lottery.
This is the ability for us to allow the state to act on our behalf and to also, I believe we're working towards getting me authority and the mayor to be able to execute documents without having to keep running stuff through committee and, commission, because we're in the middle of a bankruptcy proceeding on one of the main bankrupt pharmaceutical companies. The family's trying to get out of the Sackler family.
Oh,
And
there was me.
They're moving it quick, so we just don't have the time, and we need a
Motion.
resolution.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Shows to approve, and second by Commissioner Jones. All fair side?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, good.
That's for that specific thing, right?
Opioid legislation.
Opioid-related matters.
Yes. So,
I mean, that specific case is what I meant. Not in general for the next 30 years.
no, this is,
I mean, this is about the bankruptcy, that the state's running it, it's just letting us move it quicker.
Okay.
all right, item G, resolution for discussion for the state law.
Motion.
Motion by
Motion.
Commissioner,
Second.
second by Commissioner Show. All fair say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, for Commissioner Teacher.
I was gonna say, thanks for, putting this on here. The reason I requested it is because I believe there's a couple of things.
What are we talking about, I'm sorry?
Item G.
Item G.
Didn't it just pass?
No, that was item F, opioid legislation.
We're on the,
We're on item G.
employee not being. allowed to
Discussion
serve.
request for state law change.
I thought we just approved that one, so we didn't
No.
do that one,
No.
okay.
I'm gonna read it. Request, item G is a discussion, the request for state law change excluding county employees from elected county office. And we had a motion, we had a second, we voted for discussion. Commissioner Teacher.
Yes, sir. And so the reason why I believe this should be on here is because, first of all, nobody wants to have somebody who has, it is to vote on your own, or even against your own race. It's not really fair or right to have to do that. It's an odd predicament to be in. I believe it muddies the water, and it makes it where the people are easily not believing. If there's any congressman or anybody that was doing that, I would feel like they were being super dishonest. And I wouldn't like it, so it would be on. So there's that. Number two, my wife used to work for Sumner County, and I abstained because of the ethics of it. I always abstained. I was the only one, and then there was even a moment when I was laughed at by our chairman for abstaining. And it was the ethical thing to do, and I still stood up and did it. And I'm not saying that I need to be martyred or because I mean, it's nothing that people have to put up with. But the problem is that if our chairman currently, or our chairman previously, before we were in office, or maybe our chairman before that, or the chairman after that, we shouldn't make it willy-nilly based on how the chairman feels, or whether or not we're county employees or our spouses are employed. I just believe that we shouldn't leave it up for interpretation at all. And I think that we do the right thing, and we vote to not allow anyone who's directly related or their spouse is related to it. I mean, we could go further, but that's pretty accurate. I mean, because we've all got families that'll be employed and everything like that. But we can still make a good case to abstain. But that's a whole different point. Just come down to the fact that just we step out of it if we have anything financially involved, and it's what we should have done all along. But if we're not going to uphold that, I think that we shouldn't be able to run at all. And so that way, it just leaves out of the equation. Nobody feels misrepresented, and it's just a very honest, fair thing. So,
Yeah, so I mean, I think I'm probably for this. I need to think about it a bit, and I want to give again context here.
Just for clarification, this is not this would be a resolution.
Yeah, I reckon.
The state.
Well, but that's actually my point here. That it's at the state level, and here's my point. I was just out this weekend out in Lauderdale County, and I mean, so Lauderdale County is far west Tennessee, and they have a very different set of problems than Sumner County does. And frankly, I probably disagree. I think this committee might disagree with me on some of this stuff. I think, they would, if Blue Oval would have tried to come here, you'd have had riots. They, out in West Tennessee, just really want it out there because they're not much economy out there. And, and frankly, we are very lucky to have the problems we have. I'm not saying that we don't have problems. We do. There are problems associated with growth, and you you don't want to become Metro Atlanta. That's the problems we got to deal with. But what I'm saying is they would love to have our problems.
They need jobs.
They would love to have our problems. Now, what does that have to do with this? When you're talking about these really small counties, you may actually have a situation where you get to a point where it's very difficult to get. In theory, I agree with this, and maybe it's still the right thing to do anyway because it forces citizens to be involved. But it does, when you're talking about really small counties like this, it's difficult to get anybody to get into any of these seats. So I think that is likely why the states, the state level doesn't allow it, but allows it at the county level. And again, I'm not, like I said, I would probably support a resolution doing this because I think the juice is worth the squeeze, but I would need to really think about it because it's important to understand that Sumner County is not Lauderdale County, and I don't know that we necessarily want to inflict our way of doing things on statewide. We really need to think about it elsewhere. Again, I think I'm probably for it, but I would really want to think on it.
I just wanted to give this committee, in particular Commissioner Suggs, something else to think about too. I hear everything he's saying, good points on all of it. But we are one of the counties in the state that has the largest size county commission. And so with lower numbers, it's a lot easier to find people to serve. Extended family members of those in government can still serve in those communities that have small communities that know what's going on with economic development, and they can help. But it takes that direct possibility for corruption out of the loop, the conflict of interest for the vote, it takes that out of it. And with smaller populations, we have a lot smaller threshold for county commissioner numbers. I don't think it'd be a problem. So I hope that's something you can think about, and maybe other people will think about when this comes to a vote, because I believe in it.
So this law, this is an example what's in your packet on page 66. It was from 2020 or 2019, I think. Yeah, it would have been from 2019. Or the first part of 2020 legislative session. So it's at least 5 or 6 years old, and again, as it was said in public comments, versions of this have been trying to be passed through the state legislature since about 2015, 2016. But I've heard those arguments before. It's the same arguments. Well, the smaller counties, rural counties. I'm just to tell you, like, the state constitution requires 9 county commissioners at a minimum, and Sumner County has one of the largest county commissions in the state of Tennessee, in Williamson County, and so I just don't believe any rhetoric or argument or logic that you wouldn't find 9 people in a county to serve on a county commission. I just don't believe it because there's a vacuum that people love to fill those voids, and good or bad, and so. But my second thing is, it's pretty. It's also stated in public comments is that at no other level of government in the United States of America does this happen except at the county commission level in Tennessee. Federal level, you cannot be a federal employee and run for Congress. You cannot be a state employee and run for state representative or state senator, and you can't be a city employee and run for city alderman or you can't. It's only the county commission level. It makes no sense. All it is, I think, what it is ingratiated is a sense of political bureaucratic elitism in these smaller rural communities, especially where Bubba Joe and Billy John have they're controlling everything. They're controlling the budgets. They got all their buddies working for them, and we see that good old boy system happening in Sumner County. It's a big county. It's even worse, I believe, in smaller counties. And so several things need to happen, in my opinion. The state level is one. Because it's a gross conflict. It should be criminal that you're voting on you get elected to serve in an office where you directly benefit your own financial status and can you can tax citizens to benefit yourself. That should be criminal. I think it's unethical. It's just wrong. And obviously, the federal government, state government, city governments feel the same way, and so the state of Tennessee. I think that's just very wrong. Also, several things would happen in smaller counties, and the problem you get these are political entrenchments. One reason we got term limits in, I'm putting this one is because term limits are extremely popular. 9 out of 10 municipal voters, 8 out of 10 Gallatin voters, over 82% of Americans, Democrat, Republican, Independents, want term limits, all elected offices. So if you were to have term limits, you were to have non-county county employees cannot run for county positions to benefit themselves financially. And you were also to close the primaries in Tennessee. I guarantee you got a lot more cleaner, a lot more people coming forward in all counties in the state of Tennessee for elections, in my opinion. And so I think there's several things. This is just on this agenda, two chips at it. Maybe we do a resolution asking the Tennessee General Assembly to close primaries, or do party registration. I hear, but I don't buy into that logic, because that argument's been used at the state level every time it's come up. Well, these smaller, they can only find people from the highway department or the public works department or planning department to run, and I just don't believe it. I just think that's just an excuse to keep that power base in control of these smaller. Because look at the smaller counties. The smaller counties in West Tennessee, East Tennessee, the smaller they are, the more a lot of times historically they've been more rife with corruption and cronyism, even more so than the larger counties. Larger counties, I think you just hide it better, to be honest with you. I think it happens. But that's just my thoughts. I always support this. I'm glad Commissioner Teacher brought it up, but just, no offense, I just don't. I don't believe that.
Like I think I'm probably in support of it. I gotta, I try to chew on something for a bit before I know where I stand on term limits, right? I've thought about that I put a lot of thought into that. This is a little bit different one. I think in principle, I think I'm probably for it if we were to do something. I wouldn't want to vote on it right now. I want to chew on it. That would be, I'd be abstaining if there was a vote on it now. I just want to chew on it. Comments? Or I don't know that there's anything to be. Is there any, Commissioner Sheehan?
I was gonna make a motion to approve.
We got a motion to approve.
Can I jump in here?
Okay.
I just this is a great example of the term limits, and I've been having some commissioners that have been having trouble wrapping their brain around the term limits aspect and have everybody wanting to say it's unconstitutional. The commission is a constitutional office. However, the qualifications for that position can be regulated by the state. You all seem to grasp that pretty well with this excluding county employees. So you all agree that that's a qualification parameter that the state can weigh in on.
Correct.
That's the same thing with term limits. We're saying you're not qualified if you've exceeded a term threshold. That's why we're able to petition the states through a private act to do that. I just wanted to use this as an opportunity to jump on there since everybody was clued in on what the actual dynamic was here, so I will shut up.
Can you be sure to say that at the commission meeting?
I tried to say it last time, but,
that was very careful. Well, the point is, when it comes to term limits, I'll give you an example. Just because a representative CTAS says something doesn't make it true. Straight up. That happens all the time. Commissioner Teacher and I were told something incorrectly by somebody at the CTAS that, if a county, that a state law was passed in 2024 that prohibited county employees from voting on a budget that they directly benefited from. Well, that was partially accurate information in a grossly inaccurate manner, because there was a part B to that that said basically, or if they just say they vote their conscience, so they can vote on budgets that directly affect them, which I think again is unethical. You should not be able to vote on, and the same thing with being a county employee. But we're going back to like CTAS just giving bad information. I don't think CTAS actually read that Supreme Court's decision, because I read it and it's in here. There's no way you could read that and come back with the conclusion that that only applies to charter counties. There's a lawsuit, 2 Memphis Shelby County commissioners against Shelby County saying against the term limits is unconstitutional. It was about them, and the Supreme Court did rule that not only is it constitutional they can do this, also the Supreme Court of Tennessee ruled that it is under the purview and authority of the Tennessee General Assembly. One of the conditions of an elected office is terms. That is basically what they said, and that is a duty of. So the General Assembly has the ability to ascribe to a county's term limits should they choose or ask. We're a kind of a common general law county, so we would have to ask that via private act. If we were a charter or county, we only way we can do things for Sumner County is kind of like with the, private act we passed for the no greenways, along, certain stretches of property. That was a private act, privately to Tennessee, that Tennessee General Assembly had that authority. Same thing for, happens for term limits. I mean, it is woefully inaccurate and wrong to say that, the Tennessee State Constitution or the, Supreme Court said that Sumner County couldn't do term limits. That's just crazy. You cannot read the actual Supreme Court case and come up with that conclusion. I actually asked several, private attorneys to send this to them, asking the question, just say, what are your thoughts on this? Do you read this opinion and read this case? And pretty much, without a doubt, they agree. Sure, this court case says that, yes, the lawsuit is about a charter county being able to do term limits. So it is a charter county can do term limits. This says nothing about a general law county not being able to do term limits. And so it's just a ridiculous assumption, as you wouldn't be able to do that. So again, the biggest thing is, which is so weird, we got sent that Supreme Court decision. If you read the Supreme Court decision, it actually debunks what was sent by CTAS and only further strengthens the position of we can do this, and that the General Assembly can do this. So we're just asking, you have that 16 votes, the private act asked the General Assembly to do it. Which I guess begs a good question. Something like this would, I don't know, Mr. Law Director, the question is, could Sumner County do a private act asking the General Assembly to prohibit county employees from being elected to county office?
Well, it's qualifications, I think it would.
Yes. So, same thing, so we could do a private act.
And that would only apply to this county?
If it was a private act, yes.
Okay.
So, but I'm assuming, but I haven't necessarily researched that. Yeah, I did research the term limits and know that we can do that. But I haven't researched as far as the private act on county employees, so.
Did I make a motion that we amend this to
Well, we don't have really a resolution yet.
request, I'm saying, we're discussing it, but that we amend this discussion, I guess. I'd like to make a motion, I don't know if I can do this. If I can't, stop me, but I'd like to make a motion that we make the request, and along with that, we say, if they don't want to bring it forward for the entire state, would they be willing to support a private act?
We can't dictate what the state takes up. We can only ask them on our behalf to act on something.
I'm gonna make an amendment. Well, anyway, sorry.
No, that answered my question.
Or is there a motion?
There was a motion to,
I'll make did you make?
a motion to approve to send this as a resolution asking its request.
I'll make an amendment. I would like to request the law director or our law office to draft a private act that does, it's basically the same thing, but just for this county, and then we will take it up in the, subsequent meetings. That's my.
Is it something we could get done before?
That's what I was trying to ask.
I just want to be clear, the private act would be for whatever the resolution says. So that we would be crafting a resolution for which.
But let me be clear here. The way I'm reading this is that it's a change to state law that's statewide.
No, it is not.
Well, the discussion.
Okay.
I
was a request, the motion by Commissioner Teacher was to approve a resolution to go to the full commission next week, asking the state to change the law statewide. That was his motion. Yes.
That's separate from what we started out with.
Because that's what it says. It says,
I understand.
I'm just reading what's in front of me, and it says, Tennessee Code Annotated Section 5-502 is amended by deleting and substitute. This is a county-wide change.
This is an old bill.
Right. So what I'm suggesting here, and my amendment is to craft a private act that puts this into effect, but just for Sumner County for consideration.
Then that's my error, because that's what I understood us to be working under the whole time, was to achieve a private act just for this county, making it to exclude county employees from elected county office. Is that not what we've been talking about?
That's just not what I'm reading.
Well, this was used, I believe, this is just something to go off of.
Okay, here's
what I can tell you.
We made a motion to discuss. He made a motion to send this as a resolution to ask the state.
Okay. And if that's the case, that's what I misunderstood, but I can do that as well.
Correct.
Whichever way you want to go.
There's a motion by Commissioner Schoaf to actually now request this to be a private act for Sumner County,
That's what I,
and I seconded that.
that's what I just requested though, and he said I couldn't because he was thinking I was asking the same thing twice. You know, like, you understand what I mean?
I'm clear now, but
Yeah.
Mr. Jones.
That makes sense.
I want to be clear, Commissioner Stope was asking me to research to do this. I would like it to be a decision made in this committee so that it comes before the full commission, with this being the draft for the private act. You okay with that?
Well, that's not it have to be totally, the wording will have to be totally different.
This isn't, well, if you understand, this is a state law, we're not using the same thing.
I understand that the verbiage at the top would be different, but it would apply to our county only, so the essence of it is the same. It'll just apply to our county.
Here's
How much research does it take to make that language reflect to our county instead of the whole state?
Not much.
So can that be the gist of what we're saying here in the resolution, so that comes up Monday night?
Well, let me be very clear.
We're
We're getting procedurally out of whack here. We're right now talking about moving
Yeah, wait a
a
minute.
resolution to the state, asking the state to make a law change.
Well, I have an amendment. I have an
Okay,
amendment to
now
that.
we've got an amendment.
Correct.
And that amendment is to pursue this as a private act
Correct.
specifically for this county.
Correct.
I seconded it. We're good.
Okay, so what's next?
I'm asking, when is this gonna come up?
Monday.
Will it be draftable by Monday?
I can get something together.
But I want the commission to have time to read it before Monday, so it's
Well,
gonna probably
it's on the
It has to be on the agenda.
Give me the agenda. Comes
Great.
right there.
Okay, then I'm good with it. That's all I want to ask.
And my one request to that, when I made that amendment, was that, when I tried to make that amendment, whatever, it doesn't matter how it happened, but I'm saying, I want it to be where the state law has the option to be passed, and the private act has the option to be passed.
That's where you're combining things. I'm
But-
gonna rule that out of order.
Okay, got it. But,
So
so you're, that's, I just wanna make sure
I knew
that
it was out of
we were
order.
clear on what it was. As long as,
You need nice hands on that
as
one.
long as we can vote on
Come ahead,
something not working and voting on the same budget, I'm good.
No, that would be out of order for that.
And by the way, I'm gonna make this comment. I'm gonna move this, and again, I'm probably gonna vote for it. But I'm gonna have to make sure that I really understand the implications of it, even for here. I think I'm for it, and that's how I would like to see it pursued, but what I'm saying is that there
You
are.
wouldn't have county employees voting to raise property taxes so they can benefit financially, like it's happened for the past 10 years.
No, but whenever you're making a big change, I just wanna think through it. But I'm probably for it. I just gotta think.
One last clarity. How many folks are currently in this county by the census? Ballpark.
230,000.
230,000.
Something like that.
Where's 200,
227, I think, something like that.
in 5 years, we've grown 30,000 people.
Yeah, it's like 220,000 people. We have
Okay,
something
so
like that.
220,000 people, and we elect around 50. So I'm just saying, we'll probably hit by that
Here's the thing, I'm
elected, if that's the case.
just being, look,
I'm just saying.
I am probably for a thing, right? But when you're making a change, there may be good reason that I'm not understanding that it's there. And I know, I can think of a good reason for the 207, okay. I thought it was 207.
2023 is 208.
I just want to make sure that whenever you make a change, there are second and third order consequences, and I want to make sure. I'm the way to make the motion. I mean, I want to see it go forward. I think
it's a great idea.
I just want to make sure. Anyway, there's a motion.
Commissioner Jones.
If you, I just want to ask, if you find out what implications would keep you from voting on this, I ask you to please share it to the whole commission, like everybody else.
As you know, I am not shy about sharing
Well,
the commission.
there's so many, you're probably the only one, because there's several people that will vote against something and not tell why, and it just looks very
I
wrong.
will say why.
Please, for the love of God, if you do it by email, do not deliberate.
No, I want to hear it in the commission floor.
So we got an amendment is to basically
Turn to the private.
Yeah.
ask the state to create a private act in Sumner County that would, preclude county employees from being, elected officials, same as the federal, state, and cities. It's a mirror of election. Yeah, I would second the motion.
That's it. That's it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye.
We need to do the main.
And the main motion without amendment, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Motion to approve, 10A.
But before can I make a motion to discuss?
What?
10A?
Sure.
We have a motion and a second on 10A. All right, all All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, what is the, discussion on 10A?
Will you remind me so I'm not out of order?
Commissioner Teacher made a motion to discuss, and I think Commissioner Schultz.
Commissioner,
I made a motion to,
I made a motion to approve.
and Commissioner Teacher made a motion to second to approve. Now we're discussing.
I'll tell you what, make sure I'm not out of order on this. I don't believe I am.
Debate.
The winning side can call back,
Move to reconsider.
move to reconsider.
Correct.
So, okay, I want to make a motion, we reconsider somewhere in this point before we adjourn. And I don't know where to tell it.
Reconsider what?
The agenda. The approval of the agenda.
Okay, so just don't adjourn, let's finish this.
Yeah, we'll finish this one,
And then we won't
Yeah. Please.
have a question on this item.
Okay, then I'm all right with that.
So the item 10A is the Commission Proclamation for Overdose Awareness Day. We have a motion to second. All in favor, say aye.
No, I still have a question on this item.
Okay, Commissioner Jones.
Who brought this?
This was from Dustin and, opioid committee.
Okay. Okay, the following. I'm ready with it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Commissioner Teacher.
I'll make a motion, we reconsider the agenda, and I'll tell you why. In order to sum up this section and to make a request of the state to change the law, and close our primaries.
All right, we have a motion to reconsider the agenda.
So you're saying to add an item to the agenda?
Yeah, and send a resolution to the state, just go ahead and do it because it's what's needed in this.
What is,
We have a motion to reconsider.
Just because it fits
We have a second to reconsider.
I'm not gonna second.
We have a second to reconsider.
Awesome.
All right, we have a second to reconsider. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Fine, aye.
Okay, we have four. All right. We have a motion to reconsider the agenda, to add a new agenda item. What is your new agenda item?
Item H, I request that we send a resolution to our state legislators in order to close our state primaries, requesting.
Well, we haven't got a second for that yet. We've got a motion to.
I'll second just to give it to you.
All right, we have a motion second for
So you
discussion.
gotta approve this agenda first.
We have a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. I don't think we're gonna negate anything we've already done already. We just go back and approve all these.
Item H.
I mean, this is unorthodox. I've never seen this happen.
Very much so,
I like it.
you bring up a good point, you might wanna just do some catch-all that says all prior approved.
I make a motion that all prior decisions are approved subsequent to this agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. That carries unanimously. All right, Commissioner Teacher wants to add an agenda item, was seconded by Commissioners Jones, to send a resolution to the State General Assembly asking them to close, properties. All right, Commissioner Jones.
So this could be done as easy or as drug out and be as difficult as the state wants it to be, because I've heard state reps ask this question when they're presented this many, many times. How do you suppose we do that?
Do
How do
party
you-
registrations. It's called party registration.
Yeah.
So we're not
They
giving
do it in
direct,
Kentucky all the time.
we're not giving direct orders on how to do it, or requests on how to do it, so is this enough, is what my question is.
Yeah,
Just by
that's-
saying that.
So I agree. Here's the thing. I mean, let's be. And this is. I'm generally for a lot of this stuff, but I mean, I'm going to call us all out here a little bit. Like we know what we're doing. We're putting stuff forward right now because we know that some shit's about to happen. Right? I just make everything open, and it's okay to talk about
Looks
it.
like last opportunity.
Like a lot of this has been like the term limits has been clearly. Mr. Mansfield has thought through that. Like these things are, some of these are. I'm fine with doing stuff when they're well thought out and like well brought out. But like this is out in the middle. This comes out of left field. We talked about it before. That's fine. I mean, just because I've said this before. Like I hate being under the gun to vote for something, and just because we're under the gun for reasons that we don't like, doesn't make it good policy. All the questions that Commissioner Jones just asked are highly relevant. We don't have any of those things fleshed out. Very different than what has been written about the term limits, right? Very different than what we're talking about with the speaking on non-agenda items. We've seen this. It's written out. We understand what it is. So I'm not going to be for this, not because I'm against it, but because we don't have. It's last minute. We don't have anything to look at physically. And if it was the other side of stuff thrown at us, we know very well we wouldn't be doing this, so.
So, to that, I'll ask, somebody mentioned, I overheard, I don't know who it was, one at the table or the other, that other states do it, so state does it. I wanted somebody to say with the same formula that so-and-so does. That's all I wanted was to be added to this, directive that we're asking the state to do. Can anybody just offer that up, just make it like, so-and-so state, and I don't know what amendment to make, because I don't know what state does it.
So the state executive committee for the Republican Party states initially already has something written. I guess we could, we could take a look at and use the draft, the language that the Tennessee GOP convention, or whatever you call them, what they did, their language that they sent to the state general assembly, which did get shot down. But so they've obviously decided, I guess maybe you want to adopt the same language as the state just to make it applicable to Sumner County since that's already been worked through.
Well, we're not making it applicable to Sumner County, we're asking.
That's all statewide.
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. But it's you're asking a language, but obviously the state GOP has already thought through this language. They've already presented the language of what the state law would look like. It exists as a template.
And that would be a good thing to say, use that, but I don't know what that is yet, so we don't have it.
We don't have it.
I want to present something, because I want to do this.
Mr. Lawler.
I appreciate where y'all are coming from with this, but if you're looking for a resolution to vet this out on the commission floor Monday, y'all are crazy. I mean, I could put it together, but you all will be there beating this up for hours, and we don't even have answers to your questions here.
Well, I appreciate Commissioner Teacher. I understand his spirit of what he's doing, because I mentioned this as one of the three things to help as far as we get county employees not have that conflict of interest. One of them being closing primaries, and have party registration. So I might make a recommendation to, keep this on legislative and old business.
Let's put it on.
To come up with draft, we can work and send draft resolutions to law directors.
I can forward something to you.
Yeah, we can go ahead and do that this month, it could be on the agenda in September,
Well, I was gonna make a suggestion of one thing, because one thing, I've spoken with Johnny Garrett, our state rep, my state rep. I told him it was important to me. I've wanted to do this all the time. I think it's extremely important, because, I mean, it didn't just come up. I was literally kicked off the ballot because it wasn't closed primaries. I mean, it just is what it is. But, I mean, and so I believe that it's the most important thing for the people to get what they want. And I think that it doesn't need to stay on, in my recommendation, it doesn't stay on old business. I think it needs to be voted through so that it can be, we don't need it. Remember, Mr. Hyde said over and over, we can sell the courthouse, we can sell the county building with 13 votes. So we don't need to wait. The reason why I don't think we need to is, I would just suggest that we use the exact language that was brought before, of the executive committee, and just send that exactly forward. We don't have to worry about it.
I would not vote for that, because I don't know if that language is maybe too weak.
I don't know what it looks like.
I may want to amend it, but in essence, we're talking semantics here. We're either going to argue this out on the commission floor, or we're going to argue this out 2 weeks later in a new committee that we may not be sitting on, and either way, we're going to see how the other half of the commission feels about this. It's going to be on old business.
We know how it's going to happen. We know.
I understand that, and it's going to be on old business. It's going to be presented. It's going to be presented by the law director with options, and if they vote it down, that's probably the way it was going to go next Monday night anyway. So I'm okay with leaving it on old business.
Yep.
I'm going to support leaving it on old business. If we're voting on it.
I'm going to vote no on that, but the reason why I'm making one more suggestion and plea to this body is because of the fact that all we have to do is send forward the old, because do you think, has anything ever gone through without there being amendments on the floor? If the problem is...
Well, if it can get to the floor, it gets pulled every month.
Yes, but if the problem is that there's not time to get something together, then that's problem solved. Check, done. We've already got some legislation that's been, some writings that can be set forward. Number two, we just go ahead and adapt it and amend it, because that will be able to be included on the agenda, and our people can say, I want this, I don't want this, take this out, put it in, and then we can actually vote on it. I'm pretty passionate about it. because I feel like it's the moment that we should put it forward. And then if it doesn't get passed, it doesn't get passed. That's just what I'm saying.
We should call a question.
Question's been called, second. No second, so.
Is there any more discussion?
So, did you have a motion?
Yes,
Would you have an amendment to, there's been no vote, I don't think it's a motion on the floor, so do you have a motion?
I make a motion
To push it to the full
that
commission?
we push it to the full commission using the language that is still amendable, but using the language that was used by the executive committee and publish that in agenda. So, and I second it.
You can't second your own thing.
I'll second it for a vote. Mr. Jones?
I just can't support that, because it may get passed, and I don't like what's in it. I want to read it before it goes to the commission. So I know where your heart is, and
Okay, I make an amendment to my motion. I make a motion that we state a resolution that says we would like to close our primaries, period.
What is it?
I mean, you can do that, but I still like.
And it could be amended from there.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
All right, so here's my argument. I make a motion that we leave it on business.
Second.
But we craft language
Second.
to actually read what the state put out, so we can, listen to what those objections and arguments are. So we can do this week or next week. So just that is part of the resolution to answer what Commissioner Jones brought up, like what does that mean, closed primaries? What does it mean to have party registration? What does that mean? And what is it like as a model? The state GOP has already done that. It's great, but we haven't read it. I think it's a great idea, but that being my motion. Obviously, Commissioner Jones made good points. I agree that things seem to get removed, but it doesn't stop you from bringing it up in the floor either. So, because committees just get bypassed all the time now. So, I might make a motion given to committees at this point.
I was going to make a motion to do budget, because
Anyway, so I made a motion to move this all business with the law director helping craft. I'll work with you in crafting something to get to legislative on the agenda.
You already got a second.
So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, go ahead.
So I'm going to support this, and I don't want to look willy-nilly, but I actually agree with Commissioner Jones and y'all. But I just feel like that it should happen, and I'm afraid it'll get squashed. That's my only point.
I'm with you.
But I'm voting for it to be on routine business, and I'm not changing my vote.
Listen, we had
I'm just pleading.
2,000 Democrats cross over and vote in the Republican primary last year to put the most liberal progressive people on ballots in seats. That are, so I mean, it happens. I mean, that's what open primaries do. You weaken the ballot, and that's why Democrats don't run or win in so many things. They don't have to.
My Democratic opponent was one of them.
Yeah, so exactly. So, it is what it is, but I agree. I think the purity of it, I think we all agree with this.
I agree with everything else.
All right, so, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, we have one more.
Motion adjourned.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, 5 minutes break.